said it too.
See, we both said it and you didn't listen to either of us?
Nope.
Listen to the sister wives?
Girl.
Sorry.
Girl.
Sorry.
Girl.
Okay.
Oh,
Rude.
Now-
Well, this
Now we're live. Okay, now we're live on all the places.
Oh my gosh.
thank God.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome back again.
Here, let's at least do the rocket intro.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, it's not a show without the rocket intro that we're going to get
That's
tagged
marketing.
and then go into Facebook jail or whatever
gonna-
they're doing. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well then just how about the music?
Okay.
Is that good?
There we go.
Yeah, okay.
I don't dance.
Me
No.
neither.
No. I learned how to dab from my 11-year-old. And that's not even like proper.
I had a decent floss at one point.
No,
I can't do that either. Hey everybody, welcome to Freethought in Florida.
We're just talking over the intro music.
Freethought in Florida is a production of the atheist community of Polk County. Barely. We
Oh,
I've got a
man.
headache already.
today
3 minutes into this.
3 minutes,
Yeah,
Devon.
57 minutes.
Yeah.
27 minutes late. Today is Friday, July 30th. We want to thank our patrons at patreon.com/polkatheists and all of you for putting up with the gross technical difficulties that took place in the last 27 minutes.
Apologies.
Jesus.
Because apparently it was my fault.
So
'cause
normally-
I used the computer.
Normally, this is where I would tell you to invest your hard-earned money in this wonderful production of ours, or go tell people how great it is. But I'm going to leave that out this
Yeah,
week.
let's just omit that one from the. Yeah,
Oh,
I wouldn't
God.
even put that one in the show notes. To be honest, holy crap!
We're here, everyone. We made it. It's Friday.
Despite wanting to quit several times.
Friday.
Yes. It's Friday, yeah.
Happy
yeah.
Friday!
It's Friday, yeah.
Another week of nonsense.
Devon, how are you?
Really
How
great.
have you been?
I don't know. Do I start by saying I'm an aunt again?
Yes, tell that whole story all over again. Yeah.
My brother had twins. His wife had twins. I'll probably never see them, but that's okay. They know when to. They know when they're old enough. They can always show up on my door.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. Because they'll look just like me. Sadly, they do look like.
The genetics
Yeah, so-
are strong on that side.
We got some strong ass genes on that side of the family. So yeah. Hey
Well,
kids,
Congratulations.
love you. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm an aunt. So yeah, that's fun. That's the big news on this end. What about you guys?
We don't really have any big news. We're going to talk about some school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk.
around the corner.
We're going to talk about some school stuff in like a very sort of nebulous, brief way on this show, and then
And we'll bitch about it later.
and we'll bitch about it later on the other show. Yeah. Because COVID's back, or never went away and still here and getting worse, and we're going to talk about that tonight too.
Mutating. Yay.
But first, the non-COVID. We only have like one non-COVID story for tonight.
I can't believe we have that many.
Well, we were going to talk about the other thing, but we put a pin in that. Remember?
Yeah.
Pins.
Until
Pins have
you're
been
It's a good thing
Your
we
thing
wasted
shows.
a whole half hour trying to get on air because apparently we don't have that much to talk about.
right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
The show that was not supposed to be.
The first, well, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about mental health, because that one of the things there are two non-COVID stories, because I forgot the first one because I didn't write it down, and that is everybody leave Simone Biles the fuck alone.
Seriously.
Please.
Leave this.
Especially if you have no skill in gymnastics.
Right.
If you can't bend over and touch your toes, you have no business speaking about what she is doing.
Right.
I cannot. So I'm not gonna give her crap.
The memes have been great.
Yeah.
Chewing through these people that are
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
being stupid,
I
talking
did-
about like if all you've ever done is mental gymnastics.
Like, I'm sorry, but no, there are very, very, very few people who have any place to speak about what she's doing. And all of those people have Olympic medals or have competed in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
They were
That's it.
class.
if you've never competed in the Olympics.
And most importantly, her.
yes.
Like, that's who we should be listening to right now,
Right.
is a person who's struggling with mental health shit saying, hey, y'all, I'm struggling with mental health shit.
Mhm.
Maybe I shouldn't do some athletic thing that could break my fucking neck.
Yeah. Did you see the story about the gymnast that broke her neck
No.
after being like it was years ago?
Oh yeah.
But she was like forced to keep going after spraining her ankle or something.
Oh, I did see that.
And she ended up breaking her neck and being paralyzed for the rest of her life. She was like 20-something years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I just
Yeah.
Leave Brittany alone.
let
Yes.
Brittany go. Leave Simone alone.
Yes.
Leave everyone alone. Mind your own goddamn business out
Right.
there, peeps.
Right.
And
She doesn't owe you anything.
well,
And
and
this
then
This isn't even her first Olympics. She has like what 14
Right?
medals from the last round.
Right? She can
This is-
tap
this all
out
happened.
whenever she wants.
she has yeah.
Yeah.
But like, did you read her? I'm sure you read her statement about what was going on and the twisties, right?
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, holy shit, I get vertigo if I bend down to get the lettuce out of the lettuce and being 20 feet in the air doing a
Oh my
twist
God.
and just losing it. Like,
Mhm.
and if that happened to me, you bet your ass, I don't care what's on the line. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And anybody who can't take 5 minutes to try to understand and have a little bit of human compassion,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And- I know a lot of people were like saying, "Well, they're just teaching our kids to quit," and I'm like, "Absolutely
No.
good.
Well,
they should be.
They
well,
should if they can't handle it. They should
you
be
can't handle
Right.
yeah.
Don't do it.
Right. Right.
Oh my god.
But here's the thing, and this is what I love about our younger generations, and pat yourselves on the back for being great parents, that like they're actually talking about their mental health shit.
Mhm.
Like when I was a kid, I didn't.
Oh.
Especially as I was a boy child at the time. You were extra special, not supposed to. Yeah, I know you're shocked. You were extra not supposed to talk about how you feel, good, bad, or otherwise.
I don't cry like a girl.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes, and so now you have this whole generation of young people
Can't express
who are just like, screw you. We're gonna talk about our stuff. We're gonna talk about it with each other. Well, there was a meme I saw the other day that was something about like boomer kids or when we were kids. About how you weren't supposed to talk about how you feel, and now the kids are just like, oh my God, guess what my therapist said today? They're talking about their stuff, and good for them.
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah,
They'll be better for it.
normalize like mental health priority
You
and
know,
care.
Yes.
it all comes back to if you can normalize stuff like that, it might be very difficult because we are so like stigmatized to you can't be weak, you can't show weakness, you can't. But God, that weakness could kill you if you don't show it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
seriously, it's not just about athleticism or working in a job that you hate and wanting to not do that anymore, or there's so much more to it. It could be as simple as I want to live somewhere else, or I want to go to a different school, or whatever it is. But if you can't have a safe place to talk about it, you're just piling on, and at some point your back's gonna break.
Literally or
Yes.
figuratively.
Right.
Right. Very possibly.
I mean, it makes me wonder, like, if we couldn't just prioritize mental health in this country, how fast suicide rates would drop.
We need to treat mental health like physical health.
Yeah.
We barely treat physical health like we should.
No, especially not in the sporting world.
Mm-mm. I think just in general.
I mean,
the healthcare
yeah.
System.
Yeah.
But
What healthcare system?
exactly.
Huh.
I apologize. My dog's licking his balls. So
Is it distracting you, or you? Oh, you're here. Okay, I couldn't hear it.
Okay, good. I am so sorry, everyone. This is we're turning this episode into a mental health outlet for us.
Yes.
So this is just gonna
that
comes into our minds.
the big mental health outlet though will come after the show.
Mhm.
So let's move ahead. Leave Simone Biles and whoever else. Like, just leave
Anybody.
these people alone. Leave them alone.
If somebody says I can't do this, respect their decision that
Yeah.
they can't do it. That's all you need to do.
Super easy. Okay, so then the next story is about Senator John Kennedy.
He's a real winner.
Yeah. He
I would describe him as floppy looking. I don't know why. He's just
floppy.
Wait, I don't know what he looks like. Hold on a
Hold
minute.
on.
He's not obviously not attractive.
Well, I wouldn't think that calling someone floppy would indicate that
But
he would be.
He has like this like milquetoast type meh look to him, and he just like I don't know.
Yeah.
Ew, is he related to what's
Mitch?
his? Yeah,
Mitch
Mitch.
McConnell.
It's like an yeah.
He's
Oh yes, you missed
Stop
my
it.
Mitch McConnell impersonation.
There's just something very floppy and flappy about him. Like, we shouldn't make fun of people's appearances.
No, we shouldn't.
We
You're
should,
right.
but no,
But he's a
yeah,
dick,
you're right. I
so-
totally hear. I see the floppy that you're describing.
It's
Hard
just
to-
floppy.
Okay.
It's an old white guy floppiness.
Senator John Kennedy. Senator John Kennedy. Very wonderful
Not of the real
senator. So
I'm gonna start smacking gum
There
into the
was-
microphone if you keep doing that noise.
there was a Justice Department nominee being questioned. Hampton Dellinger.
That's a name.
Uh,
That's a judge name right there.
What?
Hampton Dellinger. So they're in the middle of a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on this nominee, and I'm gonna try to play you the audio.
Everything's crashing right now.
So let's see.
Are
Here
we
we-
still alive?
Here we go.
if we are, we won't be in a minute.
Well, that's great. Well, I can't hear it, so. Oh wait, I know why. God, this is so good. We're good at this, you guys. Okay, here
We're
we go.
amazing. You're amazing. You're a rock star.
Senator,
62
do you
episodes,
believe in
guys.
God?
60
Okay, ready?
Shoot, sorry.
Well, Senator,
Do you believe in God?
Senator, I have faith. I believe. I
A
certainly
lot of people have faith.
right.
Did it ever occur to you that some people may base their position on abortion on their faith?
Senator, I sincerely appreciate people who have a different position on abortion than
You
I
sure
do.
don't tweet it. Have you ever tweeted that?
Well, Senator, I'm saying it now under oath, and I do.
Yeah, you're up to be nominated. You want me to vote for you?
Well, Senator, I am determined to tell the truth, and if I could make clear, Senator, and I appreciate your question, your concern, that, Senator, I recognize the difference between someone saying something, inartfully as a private citizen and working as a lawyer, and I think I've got a 30-year track record of being
Okay,
open-minded.
I get all that.
I get all that. But do you believe in God? There something is like I have this memory of this thing in my line. Something about no religious tests for office.
That sounds really
That's
familiar, but
doesn't it? Oh, maybe I did. Oh,
think
I must
that
be thinking
is
of Canada again.
I think that's a little bit of a fantasy world. That's a fiction that you've come up with, according to one representative in Florida. Not a real thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, Slate reporter Mark Joseph Stern noted that when the shoe was on the other foot, Democrats weren't allowed to ask Republican nominees any questions that might relate to religion, even if their religion influences their views on public policy. For Republicans, however, it's suddenly acceptable. He recalled when Amy Coney Barrett was asked about Griswold v. Connecticut, the contraception law. Josh Hawley flipped his lid, claiming that the question was religious bigotry against Catholics.
What?
So I'm just
What?
listen. I have this crazy idea that government functions best when religion stays the fuck out of it. I just have I have a feeling that that's probably the best way to run things. And if you out there are a religious person and you're like, that's bullshit, let me make this hopefully convincing counter argument, which is your religion will function a whole lot better if the government stays the hell out of it too. This is two-way street here. You keep your religion out of my government, I keep my government out of your religion. See how this works out so well?
And unpopular opinion. Side note, Becca's opinions do not represent the opinions of this show or
We do have official statements on positions on everything.
right.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead, Becca.
no. If any religious bigotry should be spewed at anybody right now, it should definitely be the Catholic religion.
Honestly,
They do kind of have it coming right
I mean,
now.
it's time.
Oh, yes.
Good God.
So there you go.
Things are going.
Devon, do you believe in God?
No.
which one?
Yeah.
I thought about like how I would respond, and
Right?
like, there's no right answer.
No.
No.
It doesn't
No.
matter what if he was atheist or if he was full on evangelical.
Right.
There was no right answer he could have given.
Yep.
It was so.
I mean, the only right answer I can think of is, I'm sorry, sir, that question is not appropriate for this particular forum.
Mm-hmm.
It's not relevant to the position at hand. Again, no religious test for
Mhm.
public office.
But that would then he would everyone would be like, oh, he's definitely an atheist.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
yeah.
definitely an atheist because he can't even answer that question. Why is that a big deal?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, it's a lose-lose situation.
It's a Kobayashi Maru. That's a Star Trek thing, Devon. Okay, the next story.
Tauntaun?
You really should at least watch the Star Trek movies. Then you'd understand.
I've heard about those.
Ooh, let's do a slumber party. We can have Star Trek movie marathon.
Okay.
Star Trek Slumber Party. I'm in.
You're always in.
I'll have my just
The only way I could ever get her to have company over willingly is if I say, we're going to watch Star Trek the whole time.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
pretty much true. Not a big fan of people.
No.
Me.
people.
Okay, so then I want to talk about COVID, and we'll talk in greater detail about this later. But like, our kids are going back to school in a couple weeks, and nobody here in Polk County, nobody in Florida, largely except for the islands of Population Center, Orlando, for example, taking some serious precautions.
Nah.
But the rest of the state is just like, my freedoms, and you can't make me do nothing. And so we have, what did you say the percentage vaccinated
Polk
was?
County's percentage of vaccinated people is 39.
39% vaccinated in Polk County.
Yeah.
So listen, I don't want to send my kids back to school in all that.
Especially
Mhm.
when the day that the CDC says students and
And
Teachers.
everybody.
school staff should be wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
That was their directive. They released this thing very, very quickly after that went out. Our school district said
Nah.
masks will remain optional.
Nah, no thanks.
Like, how?
We'll
No.
talk about why they've said that.
Yes, we will.
Well, yeah.
But I want to then just talk about some things that have happened recently, because again, people aren't taking this seriously, and I want to sort of draw a big circle around that we should be taking this seriously, and maybe who's not taking it seriously, because we need to be taking it seriously. The first story I want to talk about is a Christian summer camp in rural North Carolina. Families spent around $350 to send their kids to the fantastic camp in the Blue Ridge Mountains,
Sounds fun.
where they could hike, swim, zip line, and be served a, quote, healthy portion of God's word.
Healthy portion of
But-
God's word.
But public officials have traced at least 76 COVID-19 cases nationwide back to the wilds. This comes from the Daily Beast via the Raw story. There's certainly a possibility that more cases could be identified, said Tara Rybka,
Hmm?
public Gesundheit, Public health spokeswoman for the Transylvania County, where the camp is located. The cases were traced to 17 states, including 47 staff members and 29 campers or chaperones who weren't working on the site. I was surprised that there was an outbreak among counselors, said one mom.
What?
Brooke Taylor Jensen, who I can just picture, and I'm sorry I'm doing that. I feel kind of bad about it, but I definitely can picture Brooke Taylor Jensen. I guess I assumed most had been vaccinated, as I wouldn't have considered sending my son if he hadn't been, and from the sounds of it, that wasn't the case. Jensen's 15-year-old son had spent 3 summers at the Wilds, but he won't be going back this year after receiving the email about the positive tests in previous weeks. He loves it and was very disappointed, but we were not willing to risk it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Brooke Taylor Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
The camp canceled its July 19 through 24 session after the positive tests, but resumed after a 1-week pause, promising to take extra precautions to limit the potential spread of the virus. But the camp brochures and registration forms in the website don't mention any COVID-19 protocols or face masks. While we've had some campers and staff either test positive or exhibit symptoms at different points in the summer, the camp said in a statement, we plan to continue to safely serve your camper through the remainder of the summer as the Lord allows. Well, you can't continue to safely serve the campers because you didn't start safely serving the campers. And I tell you,
the Lord's letting you do shit.
no.
Mm-mm. That actually really connected some dots for me because my son was supposed to be in Camp Daniel Boone in North Carolina weeks ago, which is actually, I looked it up. It's right next to next to Transylvania County.
Oh,
It got shut down before we got there because of a COVID outbreak.
yeah. Well,
Does it spread?
It must be contagious.
It must be contagious. If only there were like scientific organizations that had studied this and could tell us about it. Wouldn't that be interesting? Our channel's going to get shut down.
Crazy.
They're going to totally shut us down for like misinformation or something. Did you see Brent's channel got shut down?
Poor Brent.
Oh, poor Brent.
The county school board up here, their YouTube got shut down.
Oh, really?
Because of the misinformation that anti-maskers were spewing at the lakes.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, shit.
Hey.
God, that sucks.
You know what? Good for you, YouTube.
It's a legitimate, well, yeah, but like there's we lost
Devon. Come back, Satan.
Please.
Satan, come back.
That's not the forum, obviously, for it, but like, we should be able to listen to those stupid voices and refute them.
Yeah.
If we take down any video of anything that says those things, then I think we're overstepping the shut down misinformation. Doesn't give you an opportunity just to come on and say, oh, this crazy ass person said this and that. Right. Now let me tell you what the science says. And then all YouTube does is pick up the crazy person saying misinformation and shut you down, and you're trying to do the right thing.
Right. Well, and it's like,
didn't that happen with the Raw story or something?
I don't remember.
Right Wing Watch. That's what it was. Yeah.
But like all of the social media is so stupid. And I mean, maybe it's just because I'm only on Facebook and YouTube, but like Facebook will take your post down and send you a notification that this post has been marked for spreading misinformation, but it doesn't tell you what post they removed.
Yeah.
I got one for a post from like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It just gave me the date that it was posted, and I'm supposed but you're not telling me what it is, so how do I know what it was? Because now it's gone. I can't see it. You're not showing me what. I'm like, what? How is this supposed to help me not spread misinformation?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
opening up a bottle of wine, and I have a screwdriver doing it. So
a screwdriver? Oh my God.
I have a corkscrew somewhere. I'll find it.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
So the other story that sort of ties into that we didn't talk about when it happened. This goes back to the beginning of the month, 7th of July. More than 125 children and adults who attended religious camp in Texas had tested positive for COVID-19. Camp officials said in a statement that warned many more people may have been exposed to the virus. In addition to the 125 people who tested positive, hundreds more were exposed to COVID-19 at the camp. Bruce Wesley, senior pastor for Clear Creek Community Church, wrote on the church's website. The church is based in League City, about 30 miles southeast of Houston, and hundreds of others were likely exposed when infected people returned home from camp. As of early May, masks had been made optional in all areas, according to the camp's website. They did not return telephone and email messages. More than 400 people participated in the student ministry camp, according to the statement. The camp also said it consulted with Galveston County Health District and canceled services at that point, but then planned on resuming them like the following week. News of the outbreak in Texas comes during the return of traditional summer camp season. So, like, this story should have been the canary in the coal mine of, like, hey, kids, maybe we don't send our kids to summer camp this year.
Yeah.
In Illinois, 85 teenagers and adults tested positive after attending a camp that did not check the vaccination records of participants or require masks indoors.
Did they have them?
What?
The vaccination records?
No, they didn't. That's what they're saying. They didn't check them.
didn't
They said, "Oh, you have in order to come here, you have to be vaccinated, but
But
we're not
then-
going to check."
Yeah. No verification.
Right. Illinois Department of Public Health. At least 25 staffers at a Christian summer camp in Oklahoma tested positive for COVID-19 in June. Officials across the country have rolled back face coverings and social distancing rules that were put in place more than a year ago because we think that it's over and everything's fine now. And I'm here to tell you that's not true.
And I've got real beef. We are going to a retreat in September.
Yep.
And everybody had to give their vaccination
they
card
had to
to
upload
go. Like, they're requiring it. But all of this shit is happening, and I'm really panicking because if my freaking retreat gets canceled, I'm going to be angry. Because all you stupid fuckers that won't just put a
Right.
mask on and behave.
Right.
I'm growly tonight.
So-
We're actually in a worse spot than we were a year ago.
When it started,
Yes.
it's, yeah.
and it's terrifying to me. Like, and I mean, the whole science of it. It's like the Delta variant is more dangerous for kids. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
so the Alpha variant. I don't know the
They-
original was not that it didn't affect kids that much, but this
Right.
one's actually like
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading an article just from here in Lakeland, Lakeland Regional Health, that was talking about like the kids that we're seeing with Delta variant are like when last year we'd see kids come in and we would only find out that they even had COVID because they came in for another thing and then they tested positive asymptomatic,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, you're here for tonsillectomy or
Yeah.
whatever. And so we're testing everybody that comes
Yeah.
in. Holy shit, you have COVID. But now it's like they're actually coming in with respiratory ailments and pneumonia and ending up in the ICU and shit. Like, roar.
Yeah.
I'm we did everything like I think this is what's getting me. It's like we're gonna bitch about this later, aren't we? Okay, we're gonna.
Yeah, no,
No,
go
yeah, but
ahead.
it's okay.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's
go
just like,
ahead.
we just did everything right. Like I spent over a year of my life,
Locked up.
locked up, wearing masks everywhere. I helped make 29,000 plus
Yep.
masks for the county.
Mhm.
Like
But because, like,
making hand sanitizer because
Yeah.
freaking assholes are just being assholey. And
Yeah.
they care more
Selfish.
about themselves. They're selfish.
Yeah.
We're back at this and
worse.
worse. And I'm kind of to the point that I don't care. Like I'm exhausted.
Mhm. Just
I'm exhausted again that we have to go through this, and we can talk about the amount of breakthrough infections from those people that are vaccinated later. And
mhm. Yeah, that's the other thing they're talking about with Delta. So the next story I pulled talks about how the Delta variant is as contagious as the chicken pox. And that should be a big red flag
Mhm.
for everybody.
Especially the boomers that were
Come on,
like
guys.
that,
Yeah.
that lived through when chicken pox was everywhere.
Well, yeah, but you got to understand that so many of them are into the whole like,
Exposure.
oh, well, let's just get them all
Just get
together
it
Yeah.
and
over with,
get it over with. Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
And
I-
they're not in the best shape, those boomers.
No.
Not
No.
in the best shape.
So
Like,
I think one of the things that really worries me about all of this is like I feel like after this past year we should have learned our lesson and be taking it so that more people would be taking it seriously now.
Mhm.
But I guess it's one of those things that like it's only killed just enough people to where we see it and go, wow, that's really bad.
Mhm.
But like, there's nobody personally in my family in like 7 degrees of separation out from me. We don't have anybody that's died from COVID that's been severely impacted. I know some people who've gotten it. I know some people who are still like, have that long haul respiratory symptoms and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, I know
if you don't have a connection,
yeah.
then it seems like, well, we put on our masks and it wasn't really that bad because it didn't affect me and my circle. So, so we overreacted. That's what I'm afraid that people, the mask holes, are doing right now, rather than like being able to see the big picture. And I just think it's one of those things. Like, how many articles have I read just this week of like a wife or a parent who's like talking to the news, crying their eyes out about like, oh, we shouldn't have trusted the Fox News Newsmax people. We should have gotten the vaccine. If only we had taken it more seriously. Yeah, we've been trying to tell you this all along, and I'm sorry that you just lost your husband. I'm sorry. But like, the warnings were there. We tried to tell you. Everyone has been trying to tell you.
Yep.
And so I'm sorry. It's hard for me to put my humanism in there and feel sorry for you the way I know I should.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Absolutely.
Well, and the nurses with these stories of people on their deathbeds begging for the vaccine, but it's too late. Like, it's not going to do anything for you now. Like, it's heartbreaking, but also everybody's been saying for a year, science has been saying, this is what you need to do, and you didn't do it, and now you're paying for it. And and I'll be damned if one of mine pays for it because of your stupidity. So I'm locking down. We're not going anywhere.
We'll get into the irony of if our kids get it.
Yes. Well, you were talking about breakthrough cases, right? So and the thing about Delta, again, how it's so different and much more serious. The idea that like we've been vaccinated, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. People think that like the vaccine is like, oh, now I'm immune from everything, and that's not how it works.
Yeah, and we don't know yet how long those vaccines are going to last. And
they're saying booster shots was what you need.
Yeah,
they're doing trials. I saw somebody in our circle is doing a trial for a booster.
I'm half tempted to give him a fake name and just be like, here's I
need mine. You're right.
My first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The number of breakthrough cases that I've seen amongst healthcare faculty members, like people who know this stuff and have been taking it seriously, it's huge. Like,
that's scary.
It's terrifying. Like a lot of the there's a lot of, I'm not going to say substitute teachers, faculty members, but there's people who are currently teaching the med school classes that aren't supposed to, or like they have their own load of classes, and now they're teaching someone else's because that person's quarantined away. And so, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm seriously exhausted of the whole thing. And we had maybe a month's time, a couple months ago, a month or two ago, that we thought we all got fully vaccinated. We can go to a restaurant and maybe wear a mask going in, but we can actually sit there. And I went to happy hour for the first time in over a year, and it was great. And now,
now we're right back at the beginning.
Back to virtual happy hours, everyone. Hello.
Yeah, we're hitting reset
again.
Again.
And we didn't have to.
Mask off my feet. That's the thing. Yeah, we didn't have to.
We didn't have to.
This was all preventable.
I've been raging. I really rage about this. Like, I've gotten good at. I have a temper, y'all.
No,
yeah, I do.
I don't believe
Are you sure?
But as an adult, I've actually, learned to just this is what's gonna happen. This is happening. Just gotta grab the bull by its horns and deal with it.
Yeah.
And take it as it comes. But it's hard for me to just not lose it on people.
Yeah.
I really have to hold
well,
back.
we'll get into this maybe later too, but I was chatting online with a one of our school board members the other night who's a science teacher. And I'm like, girl, I don't know how you sit through these school board meetings with these people coming up here reading their fake statistics and bullshit, talking about how masks are, bad for your respiratory system and are going to give you like all kind, just the nuttiest shit that these people have found. And being a science teacher, a science educator, sitting up there having to listen to this anti-science tripe, you have to listen to it. It's public comment.
Yep. I wouldn't be able to do it.
And these school board meetings have been going like hours because
Public
comments are
that's statewide. Like that's in almost every county in the state right now.
And it's just depressing because it's like y'all need to just let the educators educate your children so that they grow up to be more educated than you.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple other things that are thinking of canaries in the coal mine, like how do we know we're there again? Well, the Walt Disney Company announced this week that it will require guests to wear face masks indoors again, vaccinated or otherwise.
You're gonna go back to 4 days a week?
I doubt it. It was 2 days there for a while in the worst part of it.
Let's do it.
Come on, big money. Big money, no whammy, stop. So masks will be required at all Disney locations indoors, regardless of vaccination status. And then this came out earlier today. Walt Disney Company announced Friday it is requiring all salaried and non-union hourly employees. They're still in negotiation with the union. So non-union employees in the U.S. working at any U.S. sites. So that means like Disney Store.
In the mall.
That means Disneyland, Disney World, right. To be fully vaccinated. Quote.
So that's resorts, that's Solani,
employees,
Hawaii.
Yes. Employees who aren't already vaccinated and are working on site will have 60 days from today to probably not cruise lines. The shore side, but
their port registry is Bahamas, so it wouldn't be cruises.
Yep. 60 days from today to complete their protocols, and any employees still working from home will need to provide verification of vaccination prior to their return, with certain limited exceptions, Disney stated. Conversations with the unions representing employees under collective bargaining agreements have also begun, Disney said. Oh, we lost Devon. All new hires with the company will also be required to be fully vaccinated before beginning employment. Quote, vaccines are the best tool we have to help control this global pandemic and protect our employees, Disney said. Also, Publix announced that it's updating its COVID-19 face mask policy again. So you're going to have to wear your mask at Publix for I think that was just employees for now.
Employees, right.
But like all of this, it's coming again. Like all of this tells us, okay, if these major companies are starting to put the clamps down on again, like it's coming.
When it started,
coming.
I mean, I think it's just maybe because we live in Central Florida thing. When it started, we all looked to Disney, and you wait for Disney. When there's a storm coming to Central Florida, when Disney closes, that's when you know shit's about to get real.
Right.
So that's just habit around here. So when Disney is going, okay, at least somebody in the fucking tourist industry is taking it seriously in Florida. I don't know. Universal hasn't made any announcements yet, have they?
I don't think so.
We were there a few months ago, though, and they were you had to wear a mask. It didn't matter. And I appreciated that. But, like, by the same token, like, not being in Central Florida myself, and like, when it comes to government stuff, Disney's kind of like, oh, God. Disney gets whatever they want.
They do.
Like,
oh, yes.
And they absolutely do get whatever they want. But the fact that they took this on, and they're doing it as a private company, which... they can do what they want with that.
Right.
But the fact that it's under DeSantis' nose after they've given them a lot this past legislative session, I give them props.
Yep.
Good for them. Good for them.
Well, fancy segue. Speaking of Governor DeSantis,
Well,
Devon, I'm going to ask one of those highly rhetorical questions that I love asking. Do you remember a few months ago when we were talking about all the bills that were going on through? We talked about this every fucking week on this show. All the bills that were being considered in the Florida legislature, and one of the ones that we talked about was the Parents' Bill of Rights, and we had all these concerns about what this Parents' Bill of Rights could allow to
This
happen.
is not ringing a bell. This is not
No?
ringing a bell at all.
no.
Oh.
Hmm.
It was the one that was like, oh, you have ownership over your children and should be able to
Because they're
Total
property.
Authority over
Total-
your child.
total authority. So
Guess what?
Crazy.
guess what? It's back. How go
Baby.
and go.
Ugh, so, DeSantis. I pulled it up. Hold on.
Okay.
DeSantis is such an asshole, but he made an executive order today. I'm going to read part of this,
Okay.
and it is written like a child just had a temper tantrum about something, but it has whereas in front of every sentence. So
Right.
It's okay.
Oh.
Whereas
Also,
I'm really
so-
mad about this.
I'm super angry.
Oh my gosh.
Side note: he's like Trump. He signs everything in blue Sharpie, like thick blue
Oh.
Sharpie. Gross.
Okay.
That's
So he put up
obnoxious.
forth an executive order regarding masks in schools because currently, state and public places cannot have mask mandates, and so statewide public schools are currently mask optional unless they want to defy orders. And so he put an EO out today about masks in schools. And it was like, whereas a right to a normal education is imperative to the growth and development of children and adolescents, assuming they get to grow up. Whereas last summer, at my direction, the Florida's Department of Education orders schools to be open for in-person, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Pretty much going, okay. Whereas despite recent CDC guidance, scare quotes, forcing students to wear masks lacks a well-grounded scientific justification. Indeed, a Brown University study analyzed COVID data in schools in Florida and found no correlation, which we've kind of discussed how the
What?
last strain did not affect
Oh my god.
kids as
Children.
much. So
Yes, and let me
But
pause
how-
you. Let me pause you for a second to also add that the Florida Politics article on this says notes that Florida reported nearly 7,000 positive COVID-19 tests last week for children under 12 and under. 7,000 positive
It's
cases
like record numbers, right?
last week.
a ton.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
But-
and that's not, and they're not even in school yet with each other
Right.
passing all of their shit around like they do.
Wait, just wait till school
Grr.
starts. This is
My kids are
just
sitting downstairs watching TV right now. That's what they've been doing.
the whole damn,
half the
yeah.
summer.
Right.
not allowed to socialize. You're not allowed to get sick.
You get on your iPad and you'll like it.
You enjoy your screen time.
You're not going outside in the fresh air with the COVID.
But I mean, this next.
I'm sorry. So, what was that study that he quoted about blah 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 children? Yeah,
University about
bullshit.
Florida,
Okay, go ahead.
Which we know why that is. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas making mask.
I hate the word whereas.
Negative health and societal ramifications. Well, they may die. I feel like that's a negative.
That's a
thing. But,
big
I mean,
negative.
Studies have shown that children are at low risk. Blah blah blah. Whereas forcing kids to wear
Oh.
masks could inhibit breathing,
Oh my god.
leading to the collection of dangerous particles, bacteria, blah blah blah, fungi. Fuck, he can go fuck himself. It goes on for like an entire page about like all these whereases.
Right.
But here we go. Whereas on June 29th, 2021, I signed into law HB 241, the Parental Bill of Rights, which prevents the state, its subdivisions, or any governmental institution from infringing on the fundamental rights of a parent to direct the upbringing, education, healthcare, or mental health of a minor child without demonstrating that such action is reasonable and necessary to achieve a compelling state interest. And, oh God, this is a run on.
What bill
And
was that?
HB 241, Parental
which-
Bill of
Right.
Rights?
Rights. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, and that such action is narrowly tailored and is not otherwise served by less restrictive means. Blah, 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 blah. Pages and pages going on these whereases. So in some, thou shalt not force kids to wear masks in schools because this would violate a parent's rights, which has been covered under the print of his little
Rant.
Signed in blue Sharpie pen.
Stupid.
I hate him so much for that. Don't write with Sharpies like that. They're not. It's not how you're supposed to. As a scientist, those are precious because you always run out of ink.
Mm-hmm.
Those are precious. You don't use those to write on
Well,
paper.
And I always, if you were to go to the bank to get a loan, you have to sign that paper with a black ballpoint pen. The end.
Ballpoint pen. It needs to get through all the duplicate forms. So
Waste of Sharpie.
Sign everything digitally now.
That's the thing,
Why are we still signing? It's 2021, y'all. Why are we still signing? Why are we printing paper and sign here as I'm hosting? Why are we signing anything on paper? God.
Holy
all my paper as we speak. But
this could all have been done digitally. That's all I'm saying.
He had to whereas the shit out of that. So yeah,
he did.
It's pretty much this is his EO. So the rumor was because on his official schedule he had called the president of the Senate and the Speaker of the House. Officially, it was on the schedule, and so people were suspecting that there was going to be a special session very soon about this mask mandate and what to do about it because a lot of cities are defying it. Like Orlando, Miami-Dade.
Yep.
Leon County will be the first county possibly in the country. Go Leon. That will mandate that all employees be vaccinated.
Good.
And things like that.
Which says so much.
Right.
We're the capital county.
Considering that you're the county that he operates out of.
That he is living in.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of pushback on this not allowing to have mask mandates. And so as far as schools go, the guy who doesn't actually have kids in schools of school age or in public schools will not allow for mask mandates. And if you do have a mask mandate, we will defund your school.
Yep.
So there are going to be consequences for doing that. But it's all under the guise of this is a parent's right to choose.
Right.
Parental Bill of Rights.
He held an event in Cape Coral announcing the executive action. Quote, I want to see my kids smile. He said.
I'd like to see my kids alive.
Stay tuned for the next show because that's what we're going to get into on the next one. Standing at a podium with the words "free to choose" emblazoned on the front, DeSantis.
Let's put a pin in that one right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just have to shut up for the rest of the show because I can't. It's too much. It's too much.
DeSantis told the crowd parents must decide whether their own children wear masks in class. It has harmed students. What? DeSantis said.
What?
Of mask mandates.
How would he even know?
Shouldn't this be something parents decide?
How?
No, this should be something health experts decide.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Fucking.
Oh my God.
God, where's his brain? Is it in the jar somewhere?
I seriously thought he might be okay. Like when he was elected, I did not.
Oh, right at the beginning, he did a couple of things that was like, oh, maybe
pro-environment,
and then crash.
No.
It went downhill real fast.
Super fast. Like.
Real fast.
It's something that a lot of parents have been frustrated about, that a lot of students have been frustrated about, DeSantis said. I've had a lot of kids come up to me saying, we don't want to wear the masks going forward.
You know what else kids don't want to do? They don't want to go to school, but we make them do that because it's for their own fucking good.
They don't want to eat their damn broccoli.
Right, I mean, come on.
We make kids do all kinds of stuff they don't want to do. Right.
Can we go? Let's make a list of things that
all the things that kids don't want to do. Yeah, let's go get some government mandates about things kids don't want to do.
And I know this is anecdotal, but as far as like my kids, they don't give a shit about the masks. They don't care.
No,
mine don't either.
Mine have never complained about it. We have
a lot of. And my friend's a special ed teacher, and there's a lot of concern about some of those kids. There's like sensory issues. They don't like things touching them, and so the parents are concerned. Like, please, like, don't don't make my kid wear a mask because they will lose it. And those kids put masks on, and they were 100% fine
Mhm.
the
Yep.
entire
Like-
time.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
It's this. My kid won't do well is a parent projecting,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? Now,
Oh, absolutely.
now there are very justified cases where a child might have some kind of sensory thing where it bothers them.
Sure.
And in those cases, yes, by all means, do what
Mhm.
you need to do
Mhm.
to take care of that child and their issues, but also keep them safe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's tons of
Yeah.
options.
Yeah, there's totally ways to do both.
There are other ways. Yeah.
Um
So yeah. So this parental bill of rights is, I think this is something that they wanted from this bill. Like, this is a way to get around any type of scientific guidance, healthcare guidance.
mhm.
This is a parent's right to choose.
Yeah. Oh, he also talked about how, like, oh, we did think about having maybe doing a special session, like you said, to, have the legislature take a look at it. But I don't think we need to do that because I think this Bill of Rights thing that I signed is gives me the authority to do this.
Pretty good bill. I can't.
Meanwhile,
That's very bad to say. I want to say, just wait till all those kids die. But at the same time,
I know that feeling.
It's like my gut is just like, but you know what? It's not going to be just those kids. It's going to be my
No.
9-year-old daughter who is not
Right.
vaccinated because she's
Right.
not old enough.
Right.
right.
That's the irony of this whole thing. It's just like, this stupid ass bill is going to be used as an excuse to infect every kid in the state of Florida,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
whether they're doing the right thing or not, because God damn, I need to be sure my kid's doing exactly what I tell him to be. Parents of Florida, if this is how you feel, go fuck yourself. Keep your kid at home, school them at home, don't let them come near.
Yeah,
other
I don't
child.
want your kid near my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to be that way, but I
Right.
don't. I
Mhm.
don't.
I'm seriously like terrified of school starting in 2 weeks. I
Mm-hmm.
did not feel like this last year. We sent our kids back to brick and mortar school. We thought it was the best choice for them, and I think Leon County handled it extremely well. Like, if I didn't feel comfortable with it, I wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But I think they handled it well. The individual schools, at least that my kids went to, did.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way going into it now.
Yep. Us too. And that's a good point to hit the pause button. We're going to wrap this show up and
Oh
then
my God, so early.
we'll do some other stuff. I
Well,
just
things are great.
I don't know, guys. I don't know what I like.
I want to say it's gonna get better,
We've been
But-
saying that
but
for
is it?
months.
but I don't believe
But is
that
it?
anymore. I
Yeah.
really don't. I
No.
can't. I'm not holding my breath, waiting for people to make the right choice.
Right.
I think we were on the American Atheist State Directors meeting the other night, and this would be like we haven't had a meeting since 2019 in person. It was like my
Mhm.
first and only AA
Mhm.
American Atheist convention. It was like the most fun I've ever had at a conference. Seriously,
Mhm.
ever. So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, yeah, this one's not until April of 2022.
Yep.
It should be better.
But
And
then
I'm
we're
like-
all
Now
kind of
we
like,
don't know.
"Oh, we just don't know.
But will
And I
we?
made the comment in the chat, like, I'm going to make out with each and every single one of you.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
I'm so
hilarious.
excited. And then, like, I thought about it afterwards. I'm like, oh, God,
No.
we may be, like, wearing 50 layers on our faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're even there.
If we're
Yeah.
even there,
If-
like
Because here's the thing, to wrap this conversation, I think, because the problem with this whole school situation
Mhm.
is that the only reason we are resistant to like any kind of modification, like last year when they decided very reluctantly to go to e-school, remote, virtual, whatever. All of that stuff was decided very reluctantly, very
Very last
last
minute.
very
minute.
last minute, because if you keep your kids home from school, then you have to stay home from work. Somebody's got to take care of those kids, and who's going to come to work? This is all a capitalism problem.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, they're going to do this again. They're going to push and wait and no, let's not. We can't have their kids. If the kids are going to be home, then somebody's got to be there to take care of them. And how are we going to? Well, then the businesses should be shut down too. Like if it's that, if the pandemic is that bad, we shouldn't just shut it all down.
Well, and if you
Shut it
look
all
at
down.
how many people have died, like there's this workforce crisis because nobody wants to work. And yeah, okay, fine. Nobody wants to go work for not a living wage. But also, like, hundreds of thousands of Americans died last year.
Yeah.
So
there's some
it's
open positions.
There's death has happened. So shut the companies down.
Yeah.
The government can stop making some stealth bombers for a few months
Yeah,
and
right.
give us all money to survive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Keep open the hospitals and the line for food, like, you know, and just shut everything down. We could have been, if we had just done that in the first place.
Sky in the chat. Sky says this thing could have been over March 2020 if people would have
Thank you,
just
Sky.
listened and stayed home for a few weeks. I hate people.
Yep, I hate people too, Sky.
Thank you.
Me too, except you. I like you because you get it.
Thank you, Sky. We like
Right.
you. You're
Yes,
fine.
we do like you. And on that note, I will play the outro music and we will wrap up the show.
Whoa.
I thought that was appropriate for the for the type of show that we've had tonight.
Oh my god, that was epic.
Well, that's it, everybody. Freethought in Florida might be here next week. Who the fuck knows? Right. You might be.
Us, everyone. It's
You might be able to get it on YouTube and Facebook and other places. I'm not really sure. FIF.show is still available. You can send us emails and do all of those things. Wash your hands, wear your mask, get your vaccine, do all the goddamn things. Care about each other, damn it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stay home. Be well. Bye, everybody.